Welcome to the NYXUS podcast. My name is Melanie Nix. I mean, you guys know me by now. Come on. I'm here tonight with Vinny from Ashes Rain. What's up, Vinny?
How's it going?
I'm
Thanks for
good.
having
I'm good. Finally, we get to meet.
me. Yeah,
Seems like all the latest band that I have an interview, we always have a little hiccup on the interview night, and then we reschedule, and everything's fine when we reschedule. So
yeah.
we're
My
good to go.
apologies. We're super duper busy, and I just let a couple things slip. It's all on me.
Listen, we booked these interviews so far in advance that I expect for this to happen. I mean, it's. I think we booked you guys like 2 months ago or something like that. So life gets busy. People forget. I mean, I forget my own what I did today. Anger
Yeah.
overdose. What's up, buddy? Anger, always there. Well, let's start with an easy question. Ashes Rain. What inspired the name of the band?
I always go in this one. We this band's been kind of running in one way or another for quite a while. The bass player and myself, Ryan, have been long-standing members from the very beginning. Um, we had the name and we had a bunch of merch just printed, and when we got going again, we just were like, "Hey, we don't want to, we don't want to waste all the cash. Let's just keep the merch and the name."
Smart. What's up, Sloppy Joe Studio? Sloppy Joe Studio it has a game out right now. You can get on Steam. And it has a bunch of the indie community on Facebook music. Like you
Oh,
find
sweet.
little cassettes, and then the music starts playing.
That's killer.
Thought I'd. I mean, you guys went to the marketing side. It is very smart what you did instead of having to reprint everything and just lose everything that you already had. I mean, just use
Ye-
it.
Yeah, music is expensive, so we like the name anyway. It was cool. I took over vocals. It's a different sound. I mean, we had more of a death metal thing going. A guy who was just doing heavy vocals 100%. Um, we couldn't find anybody to join the band for years, and we just kept writing, Ryan and myself, and I started taking over vocals as demo work, and we just kept rolling, and here it is, years later, and it's finally picking up a little traction. So,
I mean, you don't quit. When it's your passion, when it's something you want to do, you never quit.
right.
Um, so I see you fiddling with that guitar. He was tracking, guys. He was working on some stuff. It's funny because I have Rob Volkov too that came on, and he was away from home, and you could tell because he was sitting in his chair. If he's home, usually he's on his guitar. We're just on a call, and he's just on his guitar. It's like
Yeah,
you guys have extensions. Like this is, it's your shield, your armor.
I have like that. That's like when people ask me like for a tip. That's like my number one tip. Any technique that you are working on, I feel like there's that point where you need to focus on it. Like you got to like put a metronome on and get it under your fingers. But as soon as you get past that, the best thing to possibly do is disconnect from the technique. So like arpeggios, sweeping, and stuff like that. I love to watch TV and have conversations while my hands just do the work. Because when you're playing and I'm doing vocals and I'm playing, I cannot think about, oh my gosh, I gotta like pay it. I cannot pay attention to it. It's just gotta happen. So that's a great way to build in the muscle memory is kind of focus until you don't have to, and then practice not focusing. So that's what I do all the time.
I mean, it's good. It's good advice because muscle memory is a lot. Especially like you said, if you're singing on top of playing at the same time, you don't have time to look at your fingers and
Yeah,
lyrics, fingers, strumming, too much
yeah,
stuff going on. I mean, it's like playing drums. Let's not go there. Everybody knows I cannot play drums to save my life. I can't. I don't have coordination like that.
yeah.
How'd you get started? How did your musical journey start?
Same as every other little metalhead, man. I listen to some. Well, actually, it's a funny story. I remember like being maybe 12 or so, and I was riding around with my cousin who was a guitar player, and Ozzy came on the radio. It was Crazy Train, and I asked him because I thought he was super cool. He played guitar, and I was like, "Who is this?" And he said, "Randy Rhoads." So I went on searching for a band called Randy Rhoads for like 3 weeks, and the internet wasn't so great back then. But yeah, I come to find out it was Ozzy Osbourne with Randy Rhoads. I became a huge Ozzy fan. Every guitar player Ozzy's had, I became like just invested in. I'd studied all their stuff. And I'm into all the old school bands. I was growing up like in the '90s era. The grunge.
Oh, we lost you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh,
Hello, hello.
now I can hear you. We lost
Oh,
you for
okay.
2 seconds.
Oh, no worries. Might be my internet spiking. I only got into Alice in Chains as far as grunge, and I was listening to like '80s metal. You know, big Def Leppard fan, Megadeth fan, Judas Priest. I'm wearing a Judas Priest shirt, so my favorite album from them. Yeah, but the funny thing when people talk to me, it's great. I still really can't play any other band's song like from beginning to end. Anytime I learn anything, I very quickly like I'll learn a riff and then I'll just start writing my own material. So I've never had the focus to be like a cover artist. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I wish I could do it, and I think those guys are very talented who can sit there and learn other people's material. But I can't do it. I'll learn like a riff, and I will run off and I'll write a song based on something I picked up, and that's just who I am and how I've always been. So I've written so much original material, and that's just kind of what happens. And I got to have a band to present that material to people. So here we are. I just keep writing songs, and you know they were super super shitty for a really long time, and now they're just a little shitty, and they're getting a little better, right? So just write all the stuff you possibly can, get it done. That's one thing I like to tell people is don't sit on the material, get it done, shelve it, move on to the next thing. Too many people I know who are like phenomenal, they seem to not be able to finish anything, and they just stay stuck in this one song for 3 years, and they're 10 times 20 times the guitar player I am. But that's, I guess, it's hard to like get to that stopping point. Even like we're in the studio now,
The brain
and
starts overthinking.
yeah, like oh my god, me and my bass player, we're in the studio and he helps me track vocals. He actually does all the vocal production engineering side. So I'll be in the booth and we'll lay 20 of the same line, and then we'll be like, it's fucking awesome. And then we'll listen to it 20 minutes later and be like, no, it's shit. And we'll do it another 20 times just to find out that the original second one was awesome. And we go back to that. It's horrible. I hate it. But it is what it is.
I can relate to that. I do the same thing when I'm tracking my vocals.
Yeah.
I save the first one, the second one, and then I start second guessing, and then I just start erasing and starting over, and all of a sudden I'm like, this one wasn't bad at all. Like,
Right.
okay.
Right. I
But
definitely find it's better to have someone else at the DAW doing it. Like if I'm standing in the booth and I lay a vocal and then I got to come back and listen to it, and then I got to run back to the booth and then I got to come back. That really sucks. Takes you out of the moment, I think. The best tracking we've had is where I'm just laying lines down. We're not editing. We're not doing anything. We're just line after line. We're doubling it, and we just roll. And we come to find out that's usually the best stuff. So thank you, Ryan. I'm sure Ryan's out there probably watching right now. Can't do it without you, man.
if he's not, he might be watching later. The episodes are gonna stay up on YouTube and on Facebook, so people can
Cool.
catch them later. How'd you guys all get together?
Just I guess it was Band Mix back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put something up on Band Mix and just continued to find local guys that were sort of into what I was doing. I was writing a lot of progressive stuff at that time, like really long songs. Yeah, just we've played with a lot of people, to be honest, and you end up finding the right guys through time. And Ryan is the right guy. Ryan and I have been together doing this thing probably like 12 years in some way, shape, or form. And now it is him and myself who write everything. He arranges all the tracks. I'll write the song, I'll hand it to him. He'll arrange it for me instrumentally. We'll cut parts, move stuff around. Then we'll come in and he'll sit here through the entire process, checking all the vocals and just making sure it's the best thing it can be. So I really think he's kind of taken on a producer feel for the band at this point. But yeah, it was Ryan and me for a long time. We kept getting other members. Right now, we're a year into having another guitar player. Our drummer's very new. This is Paint It Thrash that we just did the single about 3 months ago. That's the very first thing our new drummer has recorded with us, and actually ever, because he's quite young. I think he's like 21, 22 years old.
Okay.
But age doesn't matter. I mean, metal, it's all about the enthusiasm and wanting to play and being able to play. And he has the chops.
Youngest drummer on the show was 15, so
there you
there's
go.
no age. Judith
There you
said
go,
Love
man.
Ashes Rain.
Sick.
Nightfall Band, what's up? What's up, Keith? If you could be remembered for one thing, what would you like for it to be?
Remembered for one thing. Just not being a dick, I guess. There's some of my past I was I can be a dick, or I could be a dick in the past, and I'm working on it all the time. Just being aware that, you know, I have, like everyone, I have my downfalls, and I'm quick to anger and stuff like that. But through the years, I've worked on it, and you know, I have kids now, and yeah, if they can just get to the point where they're like, "Dad's not a dick," that would be great.
I mean, I'm not sure how old are your kids right now, but there's a point where they're gonna be like, "Dad's a dick." Because I think I
Yeah.
hit that point with my 13-year-old. I think she's like, okay, no, this one's a bitch.
Yeah.
I'll be cool one day, and then the next day it's like, no, you're not. Anger, I get that. Anger
Oh yeah.
overdose, like
I can see.
he's an angry zombie. We don't
Yeah.
make him mad. We don't make him mad. Who's been the most influential person on your life, on your musical life?
Most influential in my musical life.
If you guys have questions for Vinny, go ahead and type them out, and we'll ask him.
You know, this is gonna sound lame as fuck, but I gotta be honest. When you ask me that question, I can only go back to, you know, my bass player Ryan,
Yeah.
and the reason being that without him, I would have never have continued to push myself to develop as I have. He has been lockstep with me the entire time. This guy gives it 110% all the time. And when you're working with someone like that, there's nowhere to go but forward, right? Like anytime I'm down and I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, we'll fucking get it. We'll get there. And then there's times where he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you know what? We'll fucking do it. Just having that person in your project that can just give you the boost when you need it, creatively and whatnot. You know, he's a very good friend outside of this too. But I don't think I would be the musician I am if I wasn't playing with this guy, to be
We
honest.
we all need somebody to keep us accountable and give us that kick in the ass when we think that we can't do it anymore.
Yep.
You just need that person to give you that kick in the ass. I have the NYXUS team behind me, so I have multiple people to kick me in the ass when I'm grateful, forever
Yeah,
grateful for every one of them.
it's super awesome.
Um, what's up, girl? Got people coming in and saying hi. How do you guys create music?
So it has really come. Our process is I write the songs, lyrics and everything, vocals, melodies, all the music. And what normally happens is I'll take my DAW. You know, I work in Pro Tools, and I've gotten very good at coming up with guitar riffs. What I like to do is I'll take a guitar riff that I've come up with, and I'll try to get the tempos mapped out. I'll play the guitar riff and get the overall format of the song just to a click track. Then, if anyone out there is a guitar player, you'll understand this. When you track just to a click, you're playing extremely rigidly. There's no flow to it. I don't like things like smack to the grid. I like to have a bit of a flow to it, a little bit of a bounce and sway. So what I do then is I track the whole song. I'll go back and I'll write drums for the entire thing. Then I retrack all the guitars to the drums, because when you're playing with a drum, even if it's a drum machine or samples these days, you play more rhythmically with the drum. So yeah, after that, I have the full song pretty much mapped out. I hand it over to Ryan. Ryan listens to it, says, "Hey, this sounds like shit. This sounds like shit. But this would be cool if you squash these things together." And he cuts all the fat off of the song. We rearrange it, and we come back in, and then I just write vocal melodies, and Ryan sits here with that too. You know, we just sit there and figure out all vocal melodies and stuff. Lately, I'm working on harmonies, which I suck at in vocals. It's very difficult for me not to hear exactly what the main line is doing and sing like, you know, the minor third and stuff like that intervallically. I understand it on guitar, and I play tons of harmonies on guitar. Totally different when you're singing to a reference pitch that is outside of you know what you're trying to sing.
Yep.
It blows my mind. So I'm cheating these days, and I'm laying harmonies with instruments, and I'm matching my voice to the guide tracks.
Whatever
Yeah.
helps. Whatever
So
helps.
it's all
I mean,
development.
you start like that, and then at one point your ear's gonna catch it. I think the most harms I had on one song, I think I layered 6 different harmonies on one song. And I
Yeah,
mean, that was my craziest. Now I do 3, and I'm like, yeah, you're good, you're good. I'm not doing 6 anymore. That
it's
was
yeah,
crazy.
it's all about development, and I'm big on none of this is coveted information, right? I think everyone should share their process, because if I can help another dude out there like hit, strike gold with what they're trying to do, awesome, man. I'm so glad. Please give me some pointers too, because I am not coming up with this stuff on my own. I'm reaching out, talking to people, just getting on forums, just trying to take everyone's input and figure out what works, right?
That's how we learn. What's up, Matt? What's up, Ames? See, I talked
What's up?
about the NYXUS team, and they just come in.
Nice.
Matt's audio engineer for us. Ames is my co-host. She has her own version of the NYXUS podcast.
Sweet.
Ames for the stars. So what's up, guys? Yeah, it's nice to have people. But absolutely, like you said, sharing your knowledge is very important. The whole gatekeeping everything, it's lost. It's not fun anymore. It's not. We go further in life if we try to help each other up instead of trying to push each other down. Like I could see all those tours being created with Raven Black, with Dying Oath, with the Illusion of Grandeur that we had yesterday. I mean, it's creating amazing tours, and it's just giving your fans even more to want to come see.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I don't know. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think it's bands like shitting on other bands and whatnot. I mean, it doesn't do any good for anyone. I mean, everyone's out there trying to achieve their goal, their dream, and my dream might sound a tiny bit different than the other guys, but we're all doing the same thing. We're all working through the same hurdles. We can learn a lot from each other. And I have learned a ton from every musician I have ever come across. From the guy who says he's just a bedroom guitar player and he sucks, to the guy who is Berklee trained. There's always been something to take from these interactions and apply to what I'm doing. So.
Absolutely. Ames said amen. Let's see a song that would bring you back to your childhood. Like if right now something plays on the radio and it's giving you childhood memories, what song are we listening to?
Oh, Love Bites, probably, by Def Leppard.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a huge Def Leppard fan. Even though I play more aggressive metal these days, melody is super important to me. I love melodic metal. But I was a big fan of that stuff when I was growing up. Yeah, anytime I hear any Def Leppard, I can't change it on the radio. Not my favorite band, by the way. I know I keep bringing them up. They're not my favorite.
When you like them, you like them.
Yeah. Nice. Exactly.
I mean, not my favorite band either, but when you see something like this, you're like, yes, yeah. Yes. And we got Blink 182 back there too. I mean, anything about music, right? Death Pigeon, these guys, Anger Overdose, Death Pigeon, Nightfall, they're all people the NYXUS podcast had interviews with before, and all amazing guys. Awesome. All different kind of music, but they're all helping each other grow, listening to each other. It's beautiful. I love this community that was built. Where do you find inspiration for your songs?
Yeah, I love music. I listen to music all the time. I don't listen to much metal or anything, to be honest. I think there are people like me who, I sometimes call it the musical curse, right? It's like, I can't seem to shake it. I have to kind of do it. No matter how pissy I am about what's going on, I just end up playing anyway, and I end up writing anyway. So I guess life is inspiration when it comes down to it. I mean, of course, I'm always listening to music, and bands inspire me all the time. And different specific musicians inspire me. But when it comes down to just in general what makes me write, I don't know. It's just I have to kind of do it.
Anger.
A chef.
I mean, I'm not sure if I want to eat what you got in your bayou, but anyways, Priest Live pizza. I mean, guys, stop. You're going to make me hungry again. They do that every time. And then I get hungry. It's not nice, guys. What's the first instrument you've played?
It was guitar, yeah. First instrument was guitar. I've always loved drums, though. Okay. I wish I was more of a drummer. I do play drums. I'm pretty okay at it. Never would be like a stage instrument for me, but I love drums and I love drummers, and I watch more drumming DVDs, instructional DVDs than guitar, to be honest. It's
Okay.
super weird. Yeah. Big Mike Portnoy fan. And a lot of his videos taught me to count time. Like, so I do like utilize time signatures and stuff pretty easily these days due to all that stuff that I picked up from those types of things. But the thing about time signature changes to me, which is kind of funny with music today, I don't want to know that the time signatures are changing all the time. I don't want it to be so obvious. It shouldn't feel like a knee jerk, like, oh yeah, there's another time signature change. I love bands that can play through the times and you never stop just banging your head along to it, you know? Nothing against Meshuggah, but I never see anyone out in Meshuggah is like just going, they're like, you're trying to, like, what the fuck is that? Oh, wow, that's super sick. But yeah,
Yeah.
I take a little bit of a different approach.
Absolutely. Rob, ironically, I'm in VA watching an artist from VA. That's who I was talking
Sweet.
about earlier. Look, Rob, he's like you. He's just sitting there with his guitar.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. Good to know. Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is one of the 50. There's only 50 of these out there. It was a limited run from Wired Guitar. So funny, we were talking about like not looking at your fingers when you play, right? Well, this guy doesn't have fretboard indicators, has them on the neck, like, you know, your top dots. But this kind of broke me out of the habit of looking at what I was doing as well. But yeah, super sweet guitar. Love it. It's my favorite. I don't take it to shows though, because I have dropped guitars off stage and stuff. So don't want to do that with this one.
So yeah, no, then it's better to just bring another one and not.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about food still.
I also had pizza right before this, so I'm like, and a party dinosaur has joined me for the evening.
Beautiful, and the color is amazing too. It is. It is. Rob's asking what part of VA.
So we're split between Richmond and Charlottesville. I live in Charlottesville right now. Our drummer moved to Richmond. We are looking for rehearsal space in Richmond. You know, we want to be more in that scene. You know, a little bit.
You guys just had a show with Spiral Fracture.
Not long ago, yeah. Brian out here at Spiral Fracture, he's got the club out here, another round, and he's doing great things for metal over there. Pretty much, I mean, honestly, if you're an up-and-coming metal band, you're going to play, or you want to play, through another round. It's the place to be these days for sure.
I know Javier really well.
Yeah, dude, and no disrespect to the timeline of Spiral Fracture or anything, but I have become much more of a fan of them after Javier became a part of that band. So
he has such a voice. He has such I've worked on project with him. He's played awesome. Guitar for an old band that I was with, but I mean, Javier is amazing. His vocals, he has such a higher pitch. Like I was trying to
very unique.
Lay harms on him one day, and I was like, you're asking me to boy, these harms are getting high. You know,
he gives me like that sort of feel of I guess like a little Geddy Lee and a little bit of Ray Alder, who I love. Ray Alder from Fate's Warning and stuff. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Remember Spiral Fracture? You tried vocals and I mean, I think they have the best lineup that they've had. No hate on anybody that's ever been in Spiral Fracture. I think right now they're meshing really well and it's working out for them.
I think so too. Where are you from, Rob? I keep seeing you pop out there, man. Where are you at?
Rob is another musician. He's got Life Renewed. They just came out with a new song.
Sick.
He took a little break and then he finally came back.
As we sometimes do.
We need to. Sometimes it's good to take a step back and refocus and then come back when we're stronger. We have to.
Yep.
If you could build your own tour lineup.
Man.
Let's go with 5 bands, including Ash's Reign.
So I'm gonna make it a show people will want to come see because I'm all over the place when it's what I listen to musically. You know, I definitely have a love for some of the metalcore stuff now. That was a big inspiration from Ryan. So Killswitch Engage, I really dig, and I've seen them quite a bit. Would love to do something with those guys. a lot of the bands I listen to are like European progressive metal bands. Um, I love Circus Maximus. That's like one of my favorite bands ever. Evergrey, incredible band. Um, and I gotta get two more, huh? Let me
I mean,
say,
even better if we don't know them, because then it gives us new bands to go check out. Like,
yeah.
I ask these questions, and then at every end of interviews, I'm like, oh, who was that band they said?
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, Evergrey, Circus Maximus for sure. A band called DGM, incredible. Um, and then
see?
yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh my God. Yeah, Evergrey is like probably. I just brought a signed poster in here from one of their shows. I just brought
Nice.
it in the studio today. But yeah. So one more band that I love. I mean, I've already said it. Fate's Warning. I would say. Um, Over Dream Theater, funny enough, which Dream Theater was like my gateway drug into progressive metal. Um, but then I found out of all these other bands, and I mean, I prefer Evergrey and Fates. So
See, people know who you're talking about, so you never know. Rob says he grew up in Amelia and played shows in Richmond.
sweet, sweet,
When the Walls Go Down is one of the most popular songs I've ever heard.
hell yeah,
Powerful songs, yeah.
yeah.
Dream Theater, I think we all have that same comment.
I mean, yeah, they're pioneers. Like I will say this. When I was probably 19, I had a guy who lived beside us, and he got evicted or something. And I went over there. He was a pretty cool dude, and I knew he had all these tapes. He had like a trunk full of tapes. And when he got evicted, they didn't give him his shit. Like they kicked this dude out. I actually ended up busting in there. I think my brother did too, just to get the tapes. And in his collection of tapes was Dream Theater Images and Words. When I started listening to that, it changed my whole entire musical landscape. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do this. Like, I didn't think you could do it. Like, no one I had ever listened to, maybe other than Rush at the time, had done anything like that. But Dream Theater had a harder edge to them as well. So, man, I do have a love for Dream Theater. I have gotten a little bored of them over the years, unfortunately, their newer albums, but Images and Words, Awake, Scenes from a Memory, some of my favorite albums ever.
Rob said his prog interest was Tool and Meshuggah.
Oh, yeah. Tool was a big thing for me, too, when I was young. Change of season. Like, exactly. Like, I was, like, blown away. Like, listen how long this one song is. It's like a 40-minute song, I think. Change of Seasons is somewhere around 40 minutes long, and it goes through all these different like passages, and yeah, it's just got some amazing
It's a whole
stuff.
story. It's a
Yeah,
whole, you
and
know,
I think
like
and Mike Portnoy wrote the lyrics in that one, I'm pretty sure, and it's got so many little parts in it that I would go on. Back when I was younger, I would go to the YouTube video, and I would just like I knew exactly where these parts were in the YouTube video for like this little certain guitar lick or something, and I mean it's just so good. It makes you guys are making me want to get off here and watch the video now, but
I mean, I often do that too. People tell me videos to go watch, and I'm stuck there after the show, like just watching YouTube videos. By the way, while I have Nightfall in here, real quick, next Tuesday we're going to be sitting down with Keith from Nightfall, and hopefully with the singer from their latest song, Starfall. We're going to be talking about their song. If you don't know who Nightfall is, guys, seriously, go follow them. Go take a listen to Starfall. The song is majestic. There's dragons and shits too in the video. Come on now.
Woo!
Like, there's dragons. Like, let's go.
I'm in, guys.
For now, though, let's go and watch. Let's listen to Paint It Thrash. I looked on YouTube. I didn't find any videos.
There's just like I think there's some sort of visualizer on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I got. So
Yeah.
we'll play the visualizer. You guys can. So you said you were playing covers. You learned this one though.
So you'll see though that I didn't. I learned just the meatiest part of it, the melody, and then you'll see, guys. This is more of a reimagining than a cover because I cannot really play covers. So we took liberties on this one.
All right. Well, let's see what you did with it.
All right.
You know I had to
Yeah.
say something. You were already saying, "Oh, I don't play covers," and I was like, "Man, I got Paint It Trash."
Yeah, well, I was forced into this.
All right, let's listen to this forced music.
Woo!
I mean, that was awesome. Those vocals, those vocals
Yeah,
are on point. Everybody loved it.
awesome.
Anger Overdose says the original is one of my favorite songs of all time. I approve.
Sweet.
Matt says this great cover aimed through the horns up. Fantastic reimagining from Death Pigeon. Nightfall. Get it. Love the original, but this is fire. Judy said amazing. And Matt said heavy but still makes sense. I'll be listening to that again for sure.
Sweet.
You can find that song on any streaming platforms or on YouTube, along with all of the other songs from Ashes Rain, which I'm sitting with Vinny right now, from lead singer, lead vocalist, guitar player for Ashes Rain. Thank
Yep,
you for taking the invitation and sitting down with us.
for sure.
Everybody's enjoying the music. I'm a fan already. I've like added it to my playlist a while back. I think when I did a whole cover playlist,
Awesome.
one of you guys added it to my post, and I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
your voice is very interesting. It's my type of metal voice. Those screams, you get the lows, and you transition right into the higher screeches, and
I have no idea. Well, I suck. Let me put it this way. I had to take a couple years of vocal, like, lesson. I went to a vocal coach for a couple years when this all went down. It was like, well, if I'm going to take over vocals, I better learn how to sing. And I mean, guys, my veins were like popping out of my throat. It was horrible, and I still struggle quite a bit during live performances, if I'm being honest, just to keep the intensity there because I'm doing clean and heavy vocals. But there's a lot to learn, and I'm a couple years into it now. We're just going to keep moving forward, but you just got to keep going, right? If I didn't do this, then my band wouldn't be doing anything, so I
yeah.
had to do it. Here
Well,
we are.
you're thinking maybe of taking more vocal lessons,
Definitely.
like you think
Yeah,
maybe it could help you.
I
I mean,
definitely think so.
I'm not sponsored by her, and I'm definitely would love to sit with her and talk to her. But Melissa Cross
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the lady you want to talk to. I
for
mean,
sure.
she is. Mindy from Dying Oath had the chance to work with her,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
she definitely said it's
Yeah,
completely worth it. Yeah.
they're the above the pencil and the hee hee ha ha's.
Yes. Have you watched The Zen of Screaming too?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Anybody who's attempting to do this should.
Yes.
And I definitely feel like without the vocal coaching for that couple of years, I would still be very, very far behind where I am today. So, but I'm big on education, guys. I mean, I'm still taking guitar lessons to this very day. So,
I mean, I don't think you ever stop learning, especially
right,
on something like that. There's always somebody better than you. There's always something you can learn. There's always something that you could get better at. Um,
exactly.
it's just something that you never stop. Lessons are key. Singers usually don't like to talk about that. I
Agreed.
mean, a lot of singers like to say, "Oh no, I do it all myself." Trust me, if I had enough money, I'd be like on Melissa Cross's list right now, and I'd be like,
Right.
"Excuse me, ma'am," every day. Like,
Yeah.
eh,
Exactly.
there's so many people, also, especially screaming. I'm not a screamer. I'm not a. I do clean metal, clean rock. Once in a while, I like to sing some in this moment, and
Yeah.
but especially like if you're gonna scream, take some lessons. Make sure you know what you're doing before you fuck your voice up.
Yeah. I definitely fucked mine up early on without, I was just going into it, just trying to track demo stuff. I mean, the demo stuff back then was simply trying to find a singer. Like, oh my God, we need to find somebody. But we spent a couple years looking for that. And it got to the point where people who were trying out weren't better than me. And they didn't write lyrics that I wanted to have be a part of the message of my band. And when it all settled, and I guess when the dust all settles here, this is much more what I've always wanted. And the messaging is directly from me. I can get behind what I'm saying. Therefore, I think it makes my vocals better because I believe in what the fuck I'm talking about or singing about, right? And I
Yep.
think that's really important. So I think I get through with heart more than I do with technique right now, but I'm working on it.
I mean, whatever you're doing is working. You guys sound great. I mean, give yourself some credit. Uh, there's people that have been doing this all their lives, and they don't even come close to. I come from a singing app, unfortunately, and there's a lot of people that think they can do metal, and you're like,
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
don't hurt yourself. Like that's the key part. Like you can hear when somebody's not using their techniques, when somebody's not doing something. You know.
I believe like what's gotten me by too is like when I think of influences too, right? When you talk about guitar influences, I was that guy like my cousin started me on guitar, got like I think he gave me a guitar. The very first thing I did was run out and get every tab I could find as soon as he taught me how to read it of the hardest shit you can imagine. Now, did I learn how to play it all? No. but I was listening to all, like I said, all the Ozzy, Zakk Wylde, and then Dream Theater and Megadeth and all this really intricate stuff. So even aspiring to be like any of those guys made me pretty good. Like I was better than my peers because they were playing Nirvana, and nothing against Nirvana or anything, but technically it's just a lot fucking harder to play Megadeth than Nirvana, right? So vocals too, though. I mean, I come from like Sebastian Bach, Skid Row, my like one of my very favorite singers, right? With all that compression and grit in his voice. I just aspire to be like probably some of the most exceptional guys out there, Dio and shit, and Rob Halford. So when you're trying to sing that stuff, even if you're getting only halfway there, you're pretty far ahead of some other people who have never attempted, right? So your influences are important, guys, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Seed has a question. Have you delved into the extended range guitars?
I can't play six properly yet, so I'm waiting till I master them before I move on. I struggle with patterns and like my brain doesn't work when I like think of ascending and descending patterns. I was talking to my bass player about it not long ago. So adding another string onto this that makes me have to learn more notes and understand where everything is, it's just going to slow me down even more than I am already. I am not this wasn't easy for me. That's why I'm holding my guitar right now. I've got to practice all the time, every day. Every day. If I take a day off, it's noticeable, sadly.
He's been doing this since
Yeah.
since I got down. He was already sitting there fiddling with his guitar. So I mean, practice, 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 right?
Yep, it makes you almost okay.
Nightfall says, when I sing, it sounds like I'm in Rent. I can't do growls or raspy singing at all. Jealous.
Was it Anthony Rapp or something from Rent? I'm a huge Broadway fan, so I love all that stuff. You're talking to bringing it up to the right. I love musicals. I was an actor like when I was younger, like in high school. I did a whole bunch of drama and acting and won awards and all that shit. Never for musicals, but man, I am a huge fan of musical theater. So I think that's incredible that you sound like you're in Rent, because there's this one thing in Rent where they're doing the round. There's like six people singing, and they all start like a bar after each other and singing the. Oh my god, yeah. Now we're talking about Rent. We can move on.
I mean, his degree is music.
Oh wow, that is awesome. So you know exactly what I'm talking about in that part in Rent. I love musical theater. Love it. And I love even more when you go to a show and you've actually got the full orchestra there, drummer and everything. Just, I love it. I go to that almost as much to see the bands play as I do for the show, which the last show I went to, by the way, just going to say, Hadestown, for anyone who's into this type of shit, Hadestown, incredible. Check it out.
My oldest is obsessed with Hamilton right now.
Oh, Hamilton was awesome. I was just reading some like political science stuff, and I was like, wow, I'm starting to understand more about how this is all put together. I should watch Hamilton again, because they deliver it in a very good way on that. So
you know, you expect, like when I was 13, I'm trying to think like, what was I listening to? I know I was listening to some dark shit and some pop and some pop stuff, you know, and then I go in the back one day and I'm like, what are you listening to? She's like, Hamilton. And she's just reciting the words, and I'm like,
oh yeah.
What happened?
There's some really great stuff in there. There's this one with the three sisters. I can't remember the name of the track exactly because I haven't committed it to memory, but it is pretty damn phenomenal. So
she loves it.
I support
she loves
that.
it. I've seen the only one I saw live was Wicked, and I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm a big
Idina
fan.
Menzel, yeah. I mean, yes. I know. Like, so I saw Wicked at the Gershwin Theater in New York City. Unfortunately, not with Idina Menzel, and I think her name is Kristen Chenoweth or Christina Chenoweth.
Kristen.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love all this shit. I love it all, which I think helps me be more creative when I'm writing heavier music. I mean, I don't run into too many metalheads who are sitting around talking about musical theater either, right? So,
I mean, I think we would be surprised if we if we just would sit down and actually open the conversation like that. I think I'm gonna have to do it with more bands and really see. Like, I think we would be surprised.
You're probably right. I mean, it's possible. So there's a band I love. They're German. They're called Von den Plas, and they're a progressive metal band. And every one of those guys has a job in musical theater. Every one of them. Andy Kuntz, the lead singer, is always reprising roles in musicals, and they're incredible. And you can hear it in their music. It's very orchestrated and scored. But yeah, I'm big into all that stuff.
Nightfall, one of my projects is metal musical.
Woo!
Check out Nightfall. I think you will love that. See, he's got a guitar. Make this man plug in and play his favorite riff from one of his tracks.
Favorite riff from one of his tracks. Oh man. Well, I actually dig like some of. I think you might hear it. I'm on the wrong channel for that. I'm just googling lead stuff. I dig the stuff you're about to hear. Like, oh, that's the one I've been tracking lately. My bad. Yeah, I'm not getting it all right now, but the song that will be coming up later, I think it's so I always confuse myself because I'm in the mode of recording. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's the cool part. That's what I was trying to get to. But I couldn't remember because I'm not in the mode of thinking about it right now.
Nasty melodic riff.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. That's the What Should Be track. That's one of our originals that was going out. It's probably it is our most popular track, but to be fair, I haven't really touched it because we're recording this new album and my head's on the riffs on this thing. So
Abe said, if only my fingers matched my brain. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think it was extremely sloppy right now because you put me on the spot, but that's cool.
And that's what live is. I mean, you never know with these guys.
Yeah.
But since we've listened to this, now let's listen to the song so they can actually hear everything.
What is supposed to be played like right?
No, but just we couldn't hear every note you were playing, so let's enjoy it fully.
Yeah, sweet.
That was amazing.
Sweet.
Sorry, YouTube was still playing in my ears and it was screaming at me. Wow. Matt says badass riff. Ames said goodnight, and also power and smoothness. Judy says this is one of my favorites from your EP album Mountain Echoes. Wayne Noon. I think I've heard of these guys before.
What's up, Wayne?
You've been on Rat Salad podcast before?
We have, and I'm pretty sure Wayne is the person who let us know about you as well. And we checked you out and saw you were building something pretty awesome over here. So, community,
Wayne,
as you say.
Wayne is awesome. I had the guys on the show, and we had a great talk. They're amazing people. Amazing
Heck yeah.
people. Nightfall, dig this a lot. When you go clean, you sound a little like James LeBrie. I saw you smile when you saw that one. There you go.
You just, with Jorn Lund, oh my God, that is probably, I won't say it a lot because most people don't know who the fuck he is, but he is most definitely top first or second, like, vocalist for me. I fucking love Jorn Lund. I wish I had more of his, like, deepness and tonality and the grit that he had. Oh my God, the guy is incredible. If you guys don't know who Jorn Lund is, I mean, listen to Advantageous. Like, I like the Scarecrow is my favorite, but you know, there's two vocalists in that, but he's the guy who comes in second, in the second verse. And man, the comparison on the power that you hear this guy come in with compared to the first guy who was also an incredible vocalist, Tobias something from Advantageous, fucking awesome. But Jorn comes in and you're just like, holy shit. Yeah, Jorn Lund. Yes, thank you.
Judy says your voice is badass, and Nightfall says killer tune though. I mean, I think we have a bromance starting there with Nightfall and Ashes Rain, like there's a little bromance going on. We are gonna talk about musicals after, guys.
That's right. Yeah. Musicals and Yorn Lund. I mean, you got me, man. Anything you want. You don't even have to take me to dinner now.
No dinner. See,
No dinner.
we know the trick now. Hey,
That's right.
Renzita's in the house. Uh, um, see, my man, these are some nasty tracks. Keep on, keep on.
Sick, dude. Thank you.
Jordan is my favorite modern vocalist.
Yeah.
Tobias
Yeah.
Semet.
There you go.
Dude, Scarecrow's my favorite album from Avantasia. My album artwork is by
Nice.
the artist. So, dude, see,
So yeah.
love the passion.
Yeah.
You just tuned in, no pun intended. Good one. So, obviously, people love your songs. So you guys are in studio right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some new stuff, right?
Oh yeah. We have. It will be very soon. A single will be popping out there. Couple singles for sure will be coming soon. 10-song full length album is what we're working on right now. So we're in the tracking. Things are gotten so interesting with how you record music these days. So we handle a lot of it in-house. We take drums to another studio, and then we have mixing and mastering done externally, right? So for guitars, it's really easy because all you do is grab a DI. You throw in your main tone, but grab a DI of everything you're recording. You send that to your engineer. At the end of the day, they can edit all those DIs, and then they can reamp it. So no need, in my opinion, if you have the knowledge and gear, you can do all your guitar tracking at home and save a lot of money. So that's why some of those tracks sound so awesome, guys. If I'm being honest, I can play it 1,000 times and don't have to worry about paying anybody.
You don't have to pay the studio time. A lot of bands are doing that now. They're recording
Yeah.
at home and then sending the tracks to be mastered, mixed.
We are at that point. Like, I mean, I moved over probably 6 years ago to modeling amps only. I used to have a rack. It was like a Mesa Boogie rack, like this big, that went with me. And when my band played, we actually opened a show one time, and Mike Portnoy was there because we opened the show for his son's band at the time. I can't remember who they were, what the name of the band was, but Max Portnoy is his son, who's also a drummer. That's the show we opened. And of course, Mike Portnoy's in the crowd, and my fucking rig, one cable in my rig has gone bad. And it took me like 25 minutes after we started to go in with a flashlight and like perform surgery on my rig. I am done with it. I run a very simple rig now. It's a little tiny pedal board, Line 6 Helix, power amp. I don't even need a cab on stage. We run in-ear monitors. Very simple is the way to go when it comes to like getting on stage, tearing down. You've got so much shit to worry about just playing the music. I want my gear to be simple, effective, and just stay out of my way. So yeah, I'm not a gearhead anymore. I used to be that guy that would like get a new pedal every week and try, oh, this one sounds, oh, the 5K range is a little sweeter on that. I don't give a shit, guys. You're gonna hear me play my best if I don't have to worry about all the gear.
Matt says simple is best.
Yeah.
I mean, and you make an investment, like we were saying, studio, like the benefits of staying home to record or go to the studio. Yeah, it's
Right.
still expensive when you stay home because you have to make that expensive, like, you gotta pay your gear. But once it's paid,
Yeah, there's an entry fee, I would say, and there's a bit of learning along the way that you need to make sure you understand. Like, you provide DIs to a studio and your DI tracks are all shit because you didn't have the gain structure set right, then now you have nothing. You have to retrack everything. So you have to learn a couple things, but I do think it's very freeing. Woo!
full
Exactly.
symphony orchestra in the studio without all the instrument.
Exactly. It is, like, I use a Kemper in my studio. The Kemper's an amazing piece of technology. I modeled all my own amps with the Kemper. Live, I play Line 6 because the Kemper is a $2,500 piece of gear. My Line 6 only costs $600. So I'm going to use it sounds good. No one's ever complained. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's fast, it's easy, it sounds good, right? Yeah. You don't have to, I think there are different, I don't have time, I guess, to sit and turn all the knobs like I used to. I am now being asked to finish things and deliver things and If I'm sitting there with new gear all the time, just playing with it, I'm not actually working on my instrument. I'm playing with gear, and playing with gear doesn't make music unless you're a producer. If you're a producer, then you're helping me get the sound I want in my head and translating it. There is a school for that, a methodology. But I'm a musician, right? I just need shit to sound good, and I need to deliver it to you, to your ears, the best, quickest way possible, and move on to the next song. So
Absolutely.
that's me.
Let's see. An evil curse is placed on you.
Evil curse.
You can only listen to one song for the rest of your life. What's your song?
I'm gonna say one song for the rest of my life. I'm gonna have to go Pink Floyd, Coming Back to Life, probably. David Gilmour is probably my very favorite guitar player, and of course he is not he's technical in a different way, I guess. He's not flashy, he's not speed, but the guy can do more with one note on a guitar than most guitar players can do with a flurry of them, you know? So, yeah, Pink Floyd, Coming Back to Life.
So far, I haven't had the same song twice. It's pretty cool. Like every
Awesome.
time I ask people, it's always, like I said, I'm gonna try to make a playlist out of every song from the Cursed. It's gonna be the
That's
Cursed
cool.
playlist.
That would be super cool.
And we'll see all the songs that people. Matt said, "Let the engineer worry about the details."
Engineering is a different job, right? Us as musicians, I struggle with that all the time because, of course, as a musician, you wanna get the best sound right out of the gate, but then the more you learn, that's not what's really coming to the consumer's ears. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, everything's being EQ'd and compressed, and the DIs are being reamped, and I mean, there's so much shit going on post-processing that your job is to get the best performance in. And if the performance is on point, let the guys who know what they're doing engineer your record. That's how I feel about it. I fight with Ryan all the time. He agrees, don't get me wrong. I know Ryan's out there, but he agrees. But like Ryan's very big on like getting the sound right
Yeah.
initially, which is super important too. The better we get it initially, the better the engineer is going to get it to sound in the end, right? So there's not saying just, oh, it felt good, so that's the best take. I'm not saying that, but there is something to say about getting, especially vocally, when the performance is perfect, like you got all the energy and feel in there, but maybe it's a tiny bit at a time. The timing can be aligned. That can be fixed in post-processing. Get that performance right, feel good about it. I think they can do a lot these days. I don't sing in the auto-tune though. Don't do that. I started doing that, and I got told very quickly, stop doing that. So.
Yes. But I was talking with Rob Volkov about that, and he was telling me it's different now when you record. Everything is like there's nothing. It's dry. It's and he's like, it's hard on the singer. Like for me, where I'm used to, recording back when I was recording when I was like 18, the sound wasn't the same as today. Today it's flat. It's so now like, depending on who you're recording with, some producers will actually like give you a bit of reverb, give you a bit so that you're not singing thinking, why do I sound like shit today?
Right. But and it's funny because I go back now, we talked about Jorn Lund real fast. So I have a tendency to like just look for content on guys in the studio. As I'm learning to play, guitar, I'm doing that. I'm looking at guitar players tracking in the studio. What does it sound like before it gets to my ears on a record that has been produced, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with a vocalist. If you really go in and look at footage of vocalists in the studio, what you're hearing in the room is not at all what you're getting in the end. I mean, compression, I think, is like the cure for so much. Singing into a good compression chain, like I use a EL8 distressor is what I have. I have I can't remember what this thing is. Something audio, warm audio mic preamp into an EL8 distressor for compression. If you were to take that away from me today and have me track vocals, they are going to be horrible because that compression allows you, when you're coming in, to sing softly, sing loudly, sing whatever you need to get the point across. But but it's going to take it all and even it out.
Yeah.
So your very pretty lines, like little nice things, are going to sound volume wise and dynamic wise in the same range as your shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's super important to learn that there are things out there that will make the job easier. But of course, if you go to a studio with a producer, they're going to know all that, and you're paying them for that expertise, right? But if you learn it, get the stuff, make sure the signal chain is right, you can do it at home. You can do it. Everything you guys are hearing, I've recorded vocals at home in my own little studio here, which is a renovated garage.
That says, yeah, that's what the comp does. I mean, it's, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
Till I had the conversation, I didn't know. And
Exactly.
I was trying to record, and I was like, why do I sound so
Flat. And
like there's nothing? Like
it's like, yeah, I think you said it right. It's like, it's almost like the difference between back in when we were younger watching an SD TV, just a regular, to an HD TV, right? The picture's still there, the point still comes across, but when you get an HD TV, you're like, oh shit, this looks it's the same content you're being delivered, but it's pristine. And that's what singing into a nice vocal chain does for you out of the gate. And because of that, you're able to know where to go and achieve better results for that. And that is true too. If your comp is out of whack, if you don't know what you're doing with your compression, yeah, you can completely fuck all your dynamics up, right? So,
I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, it's always that, like we were saying earlier, you never stop learning.
you don't.
There's new things that come out, new programs, new this, new that, new software, new.
Right.
Always.
I think for metal vocals, if anyone out there is metal, I think the right thing, for me and my voice that is, but I mean, SM7B microphone, it's like industry standard, right? I mean, Michael Jackson used it. That's where it got huge. He did it on the Thriller album. But Lamb of God uses it. I mean, As I Lay Dying, all these fucking August Burns Red, all these metal bands, Slipknot, have SM5 7Bs. You need a really good preamp for it because it doesn't have a lot of gain on tap, so you need to boost that. So you need a good preamp with it. But if you get that and you get about -8 dB of compression coming in to your vocal tracks, I'm telling you, just try it. Just like set your settings up, SM7B, about -8 dB compression coming in. You're going to sound better tracking your vocals than you have previously. You just will.
There you go, guys. Give that a try. Renzita says, I like Sennheiser. I mean,
Yeah.
another good
There's
one.
all sorts of great shit out. I mean, SM7B is, like I said, it's just an industry standard, right? And it's pretty cheap comparatively. I think you get it for like maybe $420, something like that. I just like saying 420 because weed. But
yeah, 420.
no. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great equipment. I mean, we're at the point in time where equipment no longer gets in the way. There's too many great options, right? There's just a little bit of education goes a long way now.
And even for starters, even for people that are just starting, you don't need to go get a $400 mic. I mean,
for sure.
If you're just starting and you just want to learn, I everything I recorded for my previous band was on the Shure mic.
Yeah.
$100 mic.
Exactly. I am talking more of like when you're trying to get away from going to a studio that has a microphone locker with 20 different options. When every time we went, into these situations, I saw them pulling an SM7B and I was like, huh. And then I saw every studio we go to has an EL8 empirical distressor. And I start going online. Why do they all have this same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason. Because it sounds good and you can get great results with it. It's, it's a little pricey. Yeah, there you go.
Minus
it's about
6.
Close to me, close to where I am. I go -8 coming in, but there's a shit ton more compression post. Well, usually, like if I mix a track, I mean, you're talking -6 dB coming in. Then on top of that, I'm probably hitting around -14 dB. So you're looking at quite a bit of compression there, like -20 dB minimum. And that's before you put a bus compressor on and compress that. Guys, yeah, so many things.
it's I started looking into it and I was like, oh, how hard can it be?
It's a lot of stuff. When you start, like,
There's a lot to learn.
I do not record my own bands, like my own band. I record my own guitar parts and we track our vocals, but I will not mix and I will not produce my own band. Other bands I have worked with and I have recorded other bands, but I think you need someone outside of your project to make decisions about certain things. And that's why we take our stuff externally for mixing and mastering.
I mean, I see why. I see. Anger Overdose says I've used iPhone earbuds. No lie.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
I
If it
mean,
works, it works.
industrial music, it works really well for what he does. I mean, there's nothing. Renzita said I learned from Matt, so -6. Wayne Noon, Hey Scatterbrain has a song where a guy sang on a phone from prison.
Hey, it
The
works.
phones now, I mean, the
You,
new phones. I took pictures of Brewstock when we went, and people are like, "Wow!" And I'm like, "That's taken with an iPhone XR."
I'm telling you, technology has. There's stuff out that I haven't even attempted to touch yet. Like there's better stuff I'm hearing than like Kemper for modeling and stuff. There's new programs out that are like freeware that do the same thing, and I'm like, I am not. If I start down that road of getting more gear again, I'm telling you, give me 6 months because I'm going to be sitting there tweaking sounds.
Yeah.
And I did it. Every musician does it. I'm not sitting here vilifying the process, but I am saying be aware that the more time you spend turning knobs, the less time you're actually spending practicing and writing material.
Exactly. Matt said if you use a Shure and record on -6, it'll be okay after engineering.
Oh yeah.
So production is my weakest. I'm learning stuff about vocals right now. It's there's so much stuff to learn. Your vocals, this instrument, that one, and
Yeah.
hats off to everybody that produce and masters. And because
Yeah.
I'll just stick to singing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, I did it for fun with a cover I did of Creep. I'm pretty proud of how it sounds in the end, but it's
Yeah.
nothing like if I would have paid a, producer to.
So my thing is, I can be real honest about it. I don't like my voice because I'm the one singing and I don't think I'm good yet. Like I don't have experience, right? So I don't like it. So I'm always pushing my vocals lower in the mix than they really need to be.
That's why
Always.
my girlfriend is the one that turns the volume. No, volume up,
There you
volume
go.
up.
You
We
gotta
do
have,
we do singing competitions and we're practicing, and she's like,
yeah,
voice up, and I'm like,
yep.
oh, I like hiding behind my music though.
Same here.
Voice
Same
up.
here. And that's why and guitars, right? I feel good on guitar. I like my guitar playing, so I'll always boost my solos. So if you got a mix from me and my band, you're gonna hear no vocals and really loud guitar solos, and that's not gonna translate to you guys as what it should. So
No, no
yeah.
one likes their voices. I agree with that. Wayne says I record my drums, send them to Alex, my singer, and wish him luck.
But that's great. That's great to be able to see. I can't record drums in my like where I am. I take drums to another studio because I think drums need a better environment than I'm willing to build into this room. So I definitely do that.
That's what a lot of people say. Like, it's easy for a singer to track at home, guitar, bassist, and then you
Yeah.
get the drums, and you're like, well,
Yeah.
the drummer has to hit the studio. Like, that's.
Yeah.
But if you get to do everything else at home, then you just have to pay for the drummer. So
That's
it's
true.
not as expensive as it could be.
Exactly.
We're coming close to the end of the interview. I'm going to have the NYXUS question for you at the end.
Okay.
Before we get there, let's see. Who would be your dream collaboration? Dead or alive?
Dream collaboration. Yeah, just hook me up with Yorn, man. We keep talking Yorn now. Now that I know I can say Yorn on here and people know who it is, yeah, that guy. I'll do
Alright.
anything with him. I'll sing backups for him. I don't care. Anything.
They were talking about Meatloaf earlier, so you do anything for him, but you won't do
You know,
that.
I wouldn't do that. But funny enough, I don't know much about Meatloaf. Never got into him.
The guys were talking about Meatloaf earlier. I only know pretty much, 2 or 3
He was in
songs
Fight
from
Club,
Meatloaf.
is what I know. He was in Fight Club.
he
Yeah.
was he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's
There you go. Okay.
yeah. Uh, what habits do you have before you get on stage? Do you have a ritual that you do like before every show?
I'm that super boring guy that will sit around for at least an hour and practice. Like before I'm playing, I want to be alone and practicing. And if I don't get to do that, I don't feel right. Also, I people like to talk to me because I'm the guy, I'm the front guy, and people want to say hi and chat. I have found that talking before shows like that in a loud venue blows my voice out before I even get on stage. So I'm trying really hard to just be alone. I mean, if I'm gonna do a good job and a performance that's worthy of you like hearing, I have got to come in basically be alone out in the in the vehicle or just somewhere else or right away from people until we play. Then I'm super happy to talk and do whatever. I don't drink or anything. I'm very boring until I play. I'm
Yes.
drinking now, but yeah,
Gotta stay in the zone.
I can't play guitar if I drink. I can't. I'm a lightweight. I drink only sour beers, guys. So, you know.
Matt says "Bat Out of Ale" from Meatloaf. Check it out.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
the song, but
I only listened to "Bat Out of Hell" for the first time maybe 2 3 years ago. Didn't know it was that good.
I've definitely heard it.
Had to watch his interview to understand what he would do, but what was that was.
I don't know what that was.
Jeremy's here saying Ash's Rain needs to get on stage more.
Yeah, there'll be things. We'll be getting out there.
There's things coming. Just keep your eyes open. Make sure you follow them, and you will see some pretty awesome stuff coming on for them. Yeah, that's about all we could say about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Three people that have been very influential to you.
Three people who have been extremely influential to me.
Could be musically or just in your life in general.
In general, wow, you think I'd have a better answer for all these ones? I mean, I've had a lot of mentors. One would have been a jazz guitarist that I studied with for a few years. I do this thing where I sit with a guitar player for like a year or two. I learn from him, and then I move on to another one. And I've been doing that since I was like 24, and I just like to take lessons all the time from people who are completely different than how I play. This guy was a extremely talented jazz player, and I might have alluded to earlier like having some anger management type issues and stuff. So this guy, I remember being at his place, and I was taking the lesson from him, and he was just a very chill guy, just super chill, really nice chill dude, but he was a smoker. And when he's sitting there and he's smoking and he's going over like modes and stuff, and he like reaches over or something and knocks his full big ass ashtray onto the floor. And I am like ingrained in me, I just have like I'm very stimulated by things. Like I freak out quick. Like you knock over a glass, I hear a loud noise due to stuff I dealt with when I was a kid, trauma and stuff. I just react kind of quick and poorly to it. Well, I'll never forget the guy just looked at it as it fell, and he goes, "It's a fucking giant mess too." And he goes, "Gonna be a big mess now." And he just kept teaching me. And that's it. He just went, "Gonna be a big mess now." Haha. And then just kept going. I was like, holy shit. I just met a man who didn't fucking punch a hole in the wall because he knocked over a fucking ashtray. That's awesome, right? So that was a big thing for me. I mean, I actually started saying that all the time. Anytime something happens now, you might hear me say, if something fucked up happened right now, I'd be like, "Oh, gonna be a big mess now." It's like my thing to calm me down almost. And I just thought it was really cool to see someone react totally differently than I would. So that was super influential. I have to throw in my cousin. My father was not a great father. Is what it is. We all, have things in our past. My cousin was almost like took that role for me. As a kid, he was like that to me, and he was just always cool and always pleasant, and gave me my first guitar and stuff, and taught me guitar and stuff. And it's just, yeah, I would not be doing any of this without him. And I think I tell him this sometimes too. Like I always have these little weird stories, but I'm cleaning guitars all the time as I restring. I restring for every song I track. So 10 song album, that means I'm restringing at least 10 times, if not more. Usually it's more because I got a lead guitar and I got a rhythm guitar. So it's more like 15, 20 times for 10 songs. Anyway, every time I'm cleaning, he taught me how to cook when I was younger. It was chicken Alfredo, actually. And I remember him telling me, like, in between doing stuff, like a clean pan is a happy pan. You know, in between cookies, he worked in like as a chef in different places and whatnot. So he's like, in between things, he's like, you always want a clean pan's a happy pan. And I'm always thinking, a clean guitar is a happy guitar. It's gonna make good music if I treat it right, you know. So there's two that were influential. And probably my first boss at an internet ISP. I am an IT guy as well by trade, day job. And this dude was just a phenomenal engineer. And he took me under his wing, taught me a lot, and I'm actually still an engineer for a large bank on my day job for like architecture and engineering now. And it all started from this guy just teaching me. And the one thing about him that was, I would guess, influential, he was the boss, but he never asked me to do anything that he wouldn't do with me. This guy did not have to go climbing under houses or climbing up towers and all the shit that I had to do, but he did beside me every day. And I always thought that was just really cool. And I kind of wanted to lead like that. I always think like as a leader, I'd always try to lead by example. If I'm not willing to do what I'm asking you to do, then something is wrong. So
Absolutely. I agree with that. If you're not willing to do it, then why are you asking me to do it?
Right.
Yes, Matt. Matt says good leader. Absolutely. Wayne said Severed Angel, Ashes Rain World Tour, but Matt said add Magdalene on that bill. So there you go, guys. So now make that happen.
Yeah.
And then I'll send Matt. Matt, you have to go and catch them somewhere. I mean, I think you're closer. I'm not too far from Virginia, though. I'm
Nice.
in North Carolina, so not too,
Okay.
not too bad. Fun question before I hit you with the NYXUS question. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Superpower. What would it be? Oh man. That's a hard one. It's really hard. I'm a big comic book guy too, so I'm big into all this stuff. I'm not a Marvel fan. I like DC though. And then I think about Batman. That Batman's like one of my favorite characters, but his superpower is being rich, basically.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much, yeah.
So-
He's just got the gadgets.
yeah, so maybe I pick Batman's superpower of being rich because I could do a lot with the money. I like charities and shit. I like doing that sort of thing. I'm not, not to talk too much about it and all, but I wish there were more people in the world who did have that expendable income. And
You
would
said
actually put it to
DC
work.
over Marvel.
I know.
Friendship
It's over. Ryan feels the same way, by the way. Ryan, my bass player, he is a huge Marvel fan. But yeah, getting back to, I just think, I think people have a shit ton of money. There's a lot of elite people with a shit ton of money. And if I had a shit ton of money, I would hope that I'd be aware enough to maybe give up some of that to people less fortunate. That's what I would want to do. And that would be a great superpower to have because I'd be able to do that. And any other superpower I would have, I don't think it would just be self-serving, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, the power of resurgence would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to go try a bunch of stuff and just, not be afraid of crashing and like
That would be good.
sky jumping,
I did that. I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm too afraid of heights. I can't. I wouldn't jump. I'd be like, you gonna have to kick me?
I am also afraid of heights, which is why I did it, I guess. I'm one of those weirdos.
Yeah, you'd have to kick me, literally. I'd be like, I'll sign a paper that you could just push me.
Yeah, I did the tandem thing, and it's basically what they do. I mean, I was strapped to someone else, and they're like, we're going, and they just throw themselves out, and you're like, fuck! But about, I guess it's over a minute you're falling. About 30 seconds into it, I kind of was like, done screaming, I was like, well, if this is the end, I might as well try to enjoy it. It's a lot of weird things happen in that 1 minute descent. So
It's only 1 minute.
I don't think it was much longer. It's a 10,000 foot drop. So I don't know. It might have been a little longer, but it felt like a lot longer, if I'm being honest. But it was fun at the end. I mean, I got to do the whole like gliding thing. It was cool. I wouldn't do it really.
I think I'd like that part better than just the free fall. I think
Yeah.
I'd like when it's
Yeah.
open and now we're just kind of chilling, you know? Like the free fall, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm dead.
Yeah.
This parachute's not going to open. Like,
No.
that's
Well-
the only thing that would be going through my head. Like, I'm dead.
It's the parachute thing is an interesting one because the place I went to had you pack your own chute, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm here for like a half a day, guys, and you're training me about packing my own chute. Of course, you have a secondary chute, right, and a tertiary chute, and then you've got your other person attached to you who has a primary, secondary, and tertiary as well. So the odds of something going wrong are really pretty slim. But at the same time, don't have me pack my chute the first day. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right?
But then again, I don't like trusting that someone else packed it right. What if someone... I don't know about you guys out there, but when I go to work, some days I'm just like, I'm just going to fucking hit these buttons and not care today because I'm not feeling it. So what if someone went to work and was packing their chute and they're just like, I'm going to act like Vinny at work today, not giving a shit, and pack the chute real bad. Anyway, this is how my brain works. I don't know how I get anything done.
But it's true, though. Like, how many times do we put our lives, like, in somebody else's hand? Like, did you have a bad day? No? Your mechanic's doing your brakes.
I know.
Is he having a bad day?
Exactly. I don't like it.
Now we're gonna make everybody paranoid. Everybody will be like, I'm doing my own fucking brakes now.
That's right.
No,
I do mine now.
Shit. Don't listen, guys. It's gonna be okay.
You'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Until you're not.
Yep. Be careful. Careful, guys. No, let's not freak them out. I had a whole conversation with Sepsis about AI, and it got me all like thinking after, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
AI is scaring me now.
It's a little scary.
I've always said they were scary. They listen to us all the time. My phone always thinks I'm saying "Okay, Google" or some shit like that, and she's like, "What did you say?" Nothing. I'm not.
Well, I'm
talking
sure
to
by
you."
the time I get off here, I'm going to be on my phone. They're going to be offering me rent tickets, so they know what we're talking about.
They're gonna be offering you meatloaf music too.
There you go. They're going to say, you need to listen to Bat Out of Hell, guy.
Then
They
you're gonna
do
be
that.
like, "Oh, fucking Matt. It's Matt's fault." Well, before I hit you with the NYXUS questions, do you have anything you'd like to say to people that have been here, to people that will be listening on streaming platforms later?
Just hope you dig it. I mean, that's all it's about. I mean, we make music in hopes that people can connect to it and get something out of it. They enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, we're wanting to make more. So come out, check us out when we're out doing our thing. And if you feel so inclined, please buy some merch because that shit does help out keeping things rolling. It's a pretty heavy endeavor, but at the end of the day, yeah, we make music in hopes that people will love it, man. That's it.
Merch is the most important thing. If
It
you want to
is.
support a band, yes, adding their music to your playlist is fucking awesome.
Sure.
But Spotify's not paying bands.
No.
Nobody, none of the streaming service are paying bands.
No.
You really want to help your band, your favorite band, grab yourself a t-shirt, a hat, anything. Take your pick. They have so much stuff right now. I mean, Grimrock sent me a little care package, and even the envelope had his picture on it. I was like,
Nice.
we're getting fucked. This is getting really fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
not just little paper envelopes anymore. Like, your whole face is on it. It's fucking epic. I loved
awesome,
it.
man.
Loved it. Well, it's about time for me to hit you with that question. So
All
let's get it going. We're big on mental health at the NYXUS podcast. So it's a question I ask at every end of every episode. If you would get a chance to sit down with little Vinny at any point in your life, what would you tell yourself?
You know, get help sooner. Get help sooner than later. I am also a huge advocate of mental health, and I have been taking, you know, I've had therapy now for years. I've been in therapy for years, but it took me until I was, I don't know, way longer than it should have to start. Let me put it that way. And there is this stigma against it, like you're
Yes.
weak, like there's something weak about you if you have to get help and talk about your feelings and all that. And that's bullshit. It's just bullshit. You know, everyone has gone through shit, and we're going to continue to go through shit. And being able to communicate that shit and realize that you're not alone and have strategies for coping with it that are not, you know, things that are going to be harmful to yourself or others is the goal, right? And I unfortunately did not get that type of stuff as soon as when I needed to. I should have got it done sooner, and it caused a lot of strife in my life. I am recovering in lots of ways from lots of things, and I just put a lot of people that I care about through a lot of years of bullshit that they didn't have to go through. And it's not fair of them to deal with my shit just because I was hurt when I was younger. You know, we have to own that, and we have to say that shit happened to me. Let me figure out a way to manage it so I don't treat the people who actually care about me like shit.
Absolutely.
So,
And it's
yeah,
nice that now it's not as taboo as it was back then. That's what you're
that is
saying.
true. It has
Yeah.
gotten better for sure. It has gotten better.
Especially for guys. Like I
Yeah,
remember growing up, like for girls, you cry, it's completely normal. You're a girl.
yeah,
If you're a guy and you have like any types of feelings, so you're sensitive and
yeah,
man up, and I just
yeah.
I'm happy that we're not going towards that anymore. Like men should be able to just come up and simply say, "Look, I'm having a bad day."
Exactly,
That's it.
exactly. And you're right that I think it's getting better. But on a personal note, I can say that I could not have worked through the shit that I did on my own. And by the way, real quick, do not think you're going to find one person. You're going to start, you're going to be like, oh, I heard what that guy said. I'm going to go find myself a therapist. You're going to get one and they're going to be the answer. That's not how it works. It's a relationship. And sometimes it takes numerous relationships to find the person that really understands and has the right methods to work with you and get you where you're trying to go. It took me at least 3 different therapists before I had somebody that was doing what I needed them to do. And that's okay. It's okay
Absolutely.
to, yeah, it's okay. You can move on. It's find what you need. That's what they're there for.
That one therapist is not for you, go for somebody else because somebody can help you. That's for
Exactly.
sure. And if
Exactly.
you guys can't see a therapist, anybody that's listening, you guys can reach out. I mean, my inbox is always open. I'd
Yes.
rather take an hour with you guys now than to learn of, you know, something that happened and then everybody's sad. So you guys
Right.
just have to. Nightfall said, "You know how I feel about this subject, Melanie. Power to you, Vinny. You got this.
Appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely. Uh, it's very important to take care of each other,
Yeah.
be kind to each other. Uh, we were talking yesterday. You never know what somebody's going through. Even if somebody's being shitty with you today, just you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
So give them the grace of just walking away without calling them a bunch of names.
The only thing you can control is how you react to any situation. You know, that's one thing I had to learn. I mean, all these other people in my life, family, friends, toxic things, you know, at the end of the day, how you react is the only thing. It's the only thing. You can't change what XYZ person is doing or feeling or how they think of you or what they're willing to do for you. You can't do any of that. But you can change how you think of yourself and what you're willing to do for yourself and how you're going to manage yourself. And there's a lot of power to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of wisdom in these words. I mean, it's important to talk about it, and I thank you for opening up a little bit and,
Sure.
letting us in. Uh, it could always help. You never know when your words could help somebody that's watching, listening. So,
Hope.
well, Vinny, thank you so much for taking some time with us and sitting down and, talking to us and the crazy people that are always with me and supporting me. Anger overdose says facts. I say that a lot. Wish I acted on it more often. I
Work in
mean,
progress.
every day, exactly. We're all work in progress. Nobody's perfect. If we'd be perfect, it would be boring.
That's right.
So on this, guys, thank you so much for being here, everybody, and talking with us. And Vinny, thank you again.
Sure.
Make sure you follow them. There's some pretty cool stuff coming up soon, and
Yep.
you don't want to miss it. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks again.